Hello, Dylan Gavin again, 7th grade ELA at Edison Middle School. My experience with trauma, we have multiple cases, very sad. A couple kids, parents passed away, parents are incarcerated, rough home living situations, kind of things that just keep piling on and keep making the situation kind of worse for the student. And that definitely affects them in the classroom, as we see a lot. But experience-wise, haven't really had to deal with too much personally. What we know of the kids um, that have struggled with some serious trauma in their lives, for the most part, have been pretty well behaved, on task, and it doesn't seem to bother them too much for most circumstances. Now we do have one particular student who has a very rough living situation. Um, he's kind of a new student. Came to the school about 2 weeks ago. We're still trying to get a read on him, but definitely the reports say that he has dealt with a lot of trauma in his life. Um, we kind of handle that in our team meetings. We meet every day as a team, our 7th grade team, that is. And on Thursdays, we meet with the counselor. And what we do with the counselor is we kind of go over students who raise concerns in the classroom that we see, and what can we do. We kind of have suggestions what we can do to help that student, whether it be in the classroom, whether it be a home life. Um, just off the top of my mind, one student we had came crying one day at school, and so immediately we sent him to the counselor to kind of see if he would kind of open up to the counselor, because they seem to do very well. And he'd been crying because he didn't have any clean sweatpants to wear to school. So just very sad to even hear that someone doesn't want to go to school and happens to be crying because they don't have a pair of clean pants to wear to school. So what happened actually is the counselor took initiative and went out and bought the kid a couple pairs of sweatpants so he could have some clean pairs to wear to school. That is just one of the situations. Like I said, that just came to mind right now. But there are multiple other ones, and some a lot more serious than that one. Um, but yeah, in our meetings, and Thursdays is when we meet with the counselor. We go over what we see in the classroom, how it's affecting them in the classroom. What are some strategies that we can implement? Who we need to be monitoring more closely than others. And we've kind of adopted this approach where we want to try to change the students' train of thought, instead of what's wrong with me as a student or as a person, and we try to flip that to what happened to you, or what happened in your past, or what is happening now. Instead of, there's nothing wrong with you, it's just something had happened to you to kind of cause these behaviors and so forth. So that's kind of the strategy we've been sharing around throughout the whole school. And I don't know if that's kind of like a district wide trend that's going on, but throughout the school, when we meet with our counselor, that's kind of the approach we take. Changing the kids' state of mind from, there's nothing wrong with me, but I have dealt with a difficult situation. Um, and I think that in itself kind of relates to the modules that we were kind of looking at. It's more about um, not really the kid, being exposed to just certain trauma events, because that's going to happen all the time. But how do you deal with it, and what approaches can you take to solving that? And I think we do that very well at our school right now. There are, like I said, multiple cases. I've kind of just went over a couple. We do have this one kid that refuses to work, comes in every day, troubled home life, comes in every day and just puts his head down. And at one point, it's myself, my teacher, and we also have an EA in there. So there's three adults in the room, and all three of us still struggle to get him to work and stay on task every day. Just the unwillingness to be there. He even has told us that, he's only here because the cops make him come to school. So dealing with that one is very difficult, and being able to connect with a kid that will barely raise his head off the desk is something that is bringing a lot of concern to our team. So we're still working on that. He has shown some improvements lately, but still struggles to even bring materials to class, to even stay on task for more than 5 minutes if he happens to be working. So, yeah, hopefully in the future we can be able to connect with him more and kind of understand that trauma he's going through and really work with him to fix that. Um, as for questions, do I still have about trauma? I guess in that scenario is what do you do when a student refuses to share any knowledge, when you can't get any background knowledge out of the student? You don't know what's bothering him. You don't know kind of the background story to why he's kind of in that state of mind. So at that point, because sometimes there's nothing we can do but just either send him to the office, and we don't want to continually do that every day, because that I feel like is just going to continue to build, and he's gonna be missing more school. He's gonna be in ISS. He's already been ISS multiple times. So in that case, I'm just really struggling with trying to figure out a strategy when a kid just will not cooperate at any point from any adult that approaches him. Um, Classroom management, it's no really specific questions right now. It's kind of just a learn day by day kind of process. Something new seems to happen every day where you learn how to have more classroom management. Um, but yeah, that's about it on that topic. So, thank you very much.